Hey guys, we are Monday, the 4th of December 2023, and Christmas is a coming. So we have quite a week coming, NFP here, and quite a lot to look at. So we're going to look at the calendar, then we're going to look at a couple of articles, and then look at the charts. So quickly going through, nothing today, Monday. Services PMI, ISM non-manufacturing PMIs and JOLTS all tomorrow, Tuesday, coming through their JOLTS at 3 p.m. GMT. Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment, crude oil inventories as usual. Thursday, initial jobless, but the big one, Friday, well, obviously Chairman CPI there, but NFP, big one, looking for a consensus, 180,000, prior 150,000. So, that's really the focus for your week is really, I would say, Thursday, Friday, best days to trade here. Obviously, there's a lot and there will be good volatility through the week. But I think if you want to kind of save it up for 1 or 2 days, I think Thursday, Friday will probably be the best here. So looking through a couple of charts, if you've been under a rock, you will have not realized that overnight, over the weekend, really, we had this attack on US Navy ships in the Red Sea. And then when we came to open on electronic last night in the Asia session, gold went into an all-time new high. So we kind of, if we transition over to the charts here and have a wee gander at gold on the daily. Now, we're not using back-adjusted charts. These are non-back-adjusted. Prior high here was about 2079s. And you see that we moved up to the 2152 spot threes there, all-time high on gold, and spent now the day really pulling back off of that. So we're down on the session about 2% here on gold off of that all-time high. A little bit to do with the strength coming back into the dollar. Also, this Red Sea situation with the Houthi rebels attacking these US warships is kind of under control because the US had actually shot down 3 of those Houthi drones that were attacking. So have a read of that article. I'm going to post it with this video. Also, if you're still under that rock as well, Bitcoin hitting into that 42,000 level. So really key level for Bitcoin. I'm just going to load up my crypto charts here in the background. And if we kind of transition over, just let me pop this. These are weekly bars. Now, just give me a second. These are weekly bars we're looking at. Now, I haven't changed the analysis on this chart in, I'd say, a year and a half. All right. And the high at 42s there was that prior high of the 3rd of Jan 2021, right over here. Look at that, right over here. Okay. Now, we fell out of this area with gusto there on the week of the 12th of June 2022. Down she goes, flummoxing around, but above this 13,920s level. And then look at the stair stepping on the way up. Now, this was lovely because we had this lovely bull flag, right? We break out here on the week of the 15th of October this year, and we just kept running. All right. So this market is up, up, up and away since the breakout. It's actually up 55%. All right. Is it going to keep going? I think we could probably put the skits on here a little bit, get a pullback, and then kind of go for this trend here that's being put in. All right. So that's a little technical look at Bitcoin. As we go back to these articles, and I'm going to rally through these, to be honest. The bond market, look, I like trade for 2024 as long bonds, short the yield. Myself and Jason have recorded a video that's coming out on Friday where we kind of looked at our trades of 2023, looking at 2024, and we chatted about a lot of different stuff. So stay tuned for that one. But here, looking at the T-notes, if we actually just transition back over, this is why I like bonds here. We've got this trend down since 2016 here, okay? 2016 high, little pullback there in 2017 in September, or early September. And then look over here, all right? We contact this trend. Guess what? Guess who's out of their bond shorts? Bill Ackman, and we're pushing up. Now, little bit of pulling back happening from here, the 110.24s. That is actually this little interim low here from 2013 December. I think we could pull back here, but ultimately in 2024, I think we're going to give it one of these. All right, up, up, up and away. And so what is the rest of the market going to look like? Well, I'll talk about that in a video where I kind of just myself look ahead to to 2024 and some of the trades that I think may come out. An article that has actually been driving a bit of oil volatility today is that the US is speeding up the return of its Strategic Petroleum Reserve, the SPR reserve of oil. Now, we've known for a long time that the US is going to be buyer at $70 on WTI to refill the reserves that essentially Biden has spent. Little fun fact here, the reserves were topped out and fully full by Trump, and the whole reserves were filled at an average price of about 45 to $55. Well, guess what? Biden is going to have to refill this thing at an average price of about 70 to $75. So, little tidbit for you: if you go on a road trip with Joey B, don't let him fill the car up with petrol, all right? Because you're gonna spend a bit more than you want. Now, what was driving the markets and a lot of the downside last week in oil was this OPEC Plus meeting. A couple of things to note from this meeting. The big one, of course, was that they had agreed 2.184 million barrels per day cut from December 1st going through to the end of Q1 2024. So the market has interpreted this as bearish. Why? Because at the end of Q1 2024, OPEC have said all cuts from that point on will be voluntary, meaning that there are no more cuts from the 1st of May going on, the end of which is going to be the start of Q2. There's no more cuts. Everyone can pump as much as they want, and the market can essentially get flooded with oil at that point. So we've come back in oil. We've come down in price. All right. Now, as today has progressed, OPEC have actually come out and said, well, there may be further cuts in Q1. Okay. So they've kind of backstopped this because they've seen that the futures market is immediately pricing in that potential glut of oil at the end of Q1. So that is what happens in the futures markets. You're not going to wait to then sell oil at the end of Q1 because the cuts are coming off. What happens is in the futures markets, all and any information gets priced in to the price of your market straight away. That's why we have these big volatile moves over data events, over Fed speak. Everything gets priced in straight away. All known information, gets priced in. Okay. And then obviously there's private information that people then have, insider information, all that stuff. So that's why we're down on oil. Another thing to take away from the meeting last week is Brazil are in the gang. OPEC Plus welcoming Brazil in. Now, here is, I wanted to get this right in one go. Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, president of Brazil, saying on yesterday that Brazil, it's really, they just want to be sort of a soft member. They don't want to be a hardcore active member. They really just want to be an observer. Okay. Now, there's a couple of implications for Petrobras, which is a state oil company. I'm actually a shareholder of Petrobras for disclosure reasons. I really like the dividends. I think it's going to do very well. But I'm not looking for capital appreciation. I really just like my dividends as long as I don't get capital depreciation. Anyway, just wanted to point out that Brazil is kind of soft playing its membership now of OPEC Plus. And then finally, just thought this was an interesting article. Saudi Arabia's plan to artificially boost oil demand. It's targeting Asian and African markets. Okay. Now, Channel 4 News Desk and Investigations have actually, it was the Center for Climate Reporting and Channel 4 News had done some reporting on this OSP part of the Saudi energy ministry, and on camera, I think, or certainly on audio, the interviewer said, an undercover reporter asked, my impression is that with issues of climate change, there's a risk of declining oil demand, and so the OSP has kind of been set up to artificially stimulate that demand in some key markets. The Saudi official responds, yes, it is one of the aspects that we're trying to do. It's one of the main objectives we're trying to accomplish. So you're not going to see, by the sounds of it, you're not going to see any ads for Tesla or Polestar in Ballygo Backwards, Africa or Asia anytime soon. So I just thought this was kind of interesting. And, what can anyone do about this? I don't know. All right, getting over onto the charts. A couple of things I wanted to look at here. Let's start off with oil. We'll get this out of the way. So really, there's a lot on the charts there. Really, we've got this trend up here. I'm not back adjusting the data anymore on these charts. So we tested a lot around this trend, but ultimately the pullback here up to about 79.80s. Lovely selling opportunity that we were looking at here in the Duggan Capital Room. And we are down, down, down from there. Seasonally, we just need to move down until the 6th to the 11th of December. So probably end of this week, early next week, we can sell off. Right, so we're down 8.76% from that test that I was talking about last week. I said this thing could go to 77s. I wouldn't care. I just want to be short this thing. And here we are the following week. And look what's happened. All right. Join us in the Discord room if you want to be on board with some of these trades and look at some of these things and nail them essentially, right? So we had a gap down overnight, a gap up on the reopen. We tested that just earlier and we're still weak in oil. I like targeting 71.97s and maybe 71.30s on the downside here in oil for this week. And then next week is going to be a whole different kettle of fish. I think I'm looking for longs on this. Okay, so that's oil. I'm briefly just going to go over NASDAQ and SPOOs. So here we are. Look, lovely downside test here on the NASDAQ, testing that high from the 13th of September and the 14th. Just picking up buyers, 15,714 halves. It's actually sharked. It hasn't actually traded that level today. So sellers may come in here again at VWAP and drive it down to take that level out. And I think actually when the week is done, we will have tagged 15,647s and be bid up, going to the target of 16,448, probably by the middle of next week. Let's see. But this is the upside target for me for NASDAQ on the S&P 500. Some nice trades coming in. Look at this lovely buying opportunity. We identified this in the room live earlier at 1:15, so about an hour before the market opened. Love this trade here. Lovely long coming in here. And I think we're gung-ho now for upside targets of 46.31s. All right, I really do. I really do. We're going to have to maintain today's close above this Q level 45.5 and then I think we're good to go. 46.31s, dial it in, call your mom, tell her to stay long. Dow, I love it. Dow is really nice, showing its class here. We're only about 2% off of the high here where we trade right now on the Dow. We're 1.67 actually off the all-time high. You're seeing we're pushing above, constrained here back in July by this 35,752s level right here. What was that? That was actually this little shoulder of a pullback in February 2022. But now targets firmly 36,446 up here. Okay. And then probably a pullback and onto the all-time high. So maybe Santa Claus has an all-time high in his bag for us for the end of this year. Gold, obviously we gotta look at gold here as well. Look, I think the pullback is deep. I think we could even go 1997 on the pullback here. I like looking at 2020s. I was looking for that for the pullback. It should come in maybe before the end of the session, if not this week for sure. Will we be buyers here? Will it get decimated? I don't know. I'd like a 1997 test and then we go. That's the price, 1997. Again, these charts are not back adjusted. Just a big change I've made on these charts recently. All right. That is it for me for another look ahead for the week. All right, stay lucky out there and I'll talk to you next Monday. Cheers.